Oh, we're gonna learn the box emote.
Oh.
I think this is about to be a.
I like
voice
emotes.
Come to see how we're getting on? We've made good progress since we took back Ala Mhigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. But don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me? I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure?
No, I wanted to have all the meetings.
After all, we were adventurous before we were scions, were we not? After routing the Imperials and liberating Ala Mhigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
What?
Twist my arm, why don't you?
This guy seems awfully excited to get Alphino. I'm not too keen on it.
It was a funny transition. It was just like they're like, hey, it's time to start the main plot. Just kidding, let's go over here and go on an adventure. Unrelated, with Guy you don't remember. Remember Guy? Oh, he's my favorite. I love Guy. We probably recruited him. I don't remember him.
He's the half. I want to say either Rogadan or Highlander / Garlean hybrid.
That's a lot of different things to be half of.
Yeah,
that's some man bear pig.
Yeah, he is literally the whole roster of people.
Yeah, he's either a here and
he's
a
Ichigo?
Garlean hybrid, or he's a Rogadan.
Oh yeah,
a Garlean hybrid. I can't remember.
Finally.
How do I get the top that Andrew has?
You want this top?
Is it the same
I think
top
it's a
but
dancer's
gendered
uniform.
actually?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the same one. I'm not sure. The cape is the same. The hood's the same, but the rest is not. All right, who's gonna be our Arnvald?
Where was I? Okay. What is it? Right then, let's go and find Master Levelier. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetherite, and we'll be along shortly. See you there.
Little does he know we left
Again?
and did all of the side quests before coming back. We've done nothing but other adventures.
He has no idea what we're doing off camera.
View adventuring plate? No. How do you
Do you have an
inspect-
adventure?
I'm trying to think of how to inspect people in this game.
Right click examine.
I don't have examine on Andrew.
You have
too
to
far
click
away.
on him in person.
It's the
I have to click on
Taffeta
it.
shawl.
Oh, I can't click on his thing.
Yeah, the taffeta shawl
Yeah.
and the
Oh, because it doesn't
casual
show.
slops.
Oh yeah, if
Oh,
I try
yeah,
it on,
the
it is.
bottoms,
If I
yeah.
try it on, it is the same item. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just got a different cut.
So when they, yep.
We're unoriginal.
You can also get my pants if you ever wanted them.
Casual half slops.
That's the place from the cutscene.
Remember the CG? Greetings, hero. It would seem we are to accompany our involved in some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into?
Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please.
No promises.
Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Ala Mhigo was still a monarchy, and Theodoric sat at the throne.
A uniquely brutal despot by all accounts.
A little rude, but alright. That he was. The King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rhalgr's Reach being burned to the ground. In the later years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unforeseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove.
Ah, I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty.
You assume correctly.
And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems.
Well, of course we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Ala Mhigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dusk till dawn, they uncovered not a single coin. The gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend.
But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there.
What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart racing.
Yeah, I did it last time we played. The raid
I've done this several
that we
times.
just did.
What? Wait, was that the boxing emote?
No.
Box. Type/box. Oh, hey. And take this tiny man out. Like how
Everybody
bouncy we
starts
are.
shadowboxing.
It's an emote that actually is everybody doing the same thing instead of us having wildly different emotes per race.
Yeah. Anywho.
Fighting with a ferret on your shoulder seems a little rude, but
And unwieldy.
The news of Doma and Ala Mhigo's liberation has rekindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion, which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? We already side-quested, bruh. Tell us, our involved, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search?
Well, judging how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't going to get us anywhere. So we'll probably need to ask around.
Would that be another way of saying no?
Well, yes.
I see. In any case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied Archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at a time, you will be looking for people who have seen 47 summers or more. Anything that can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arnvald, pray try your luck in the fringes of the peaks while the hero makes the rounds in the Ala Mhigo quarter.
Ha! And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at, Gilbard's?
Gilbard's?
Guilebard's?
Giles theme?
Guilebard's Gate.
Ballard, something like that.
Probably Gilbard.
Good enough. Close
Weird
enough.
names.
Everyone's gone anyway.
Okay, and now we go and speak to people.
Really? We just talked to 3 different people?
Specifically, we're going to the Ala Mhigo quarter. Teleport.
Someone's like, yeah,
There's
I
definitely something
heard
funny
once that
about-
there's gold.
There's definitely something funny about us doing all this side stuff, then coming back to the main story just for the main story to immediately be like, what if we fucked off? What if we did filler? Let's do filler. But maybe it'll be like, actually, coincidentally, we walked into the story now. That is a deep V.
In the palace? No, not me, lad. Oops. Surely you've heard stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the Divine Audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed as far away from the palace as possible.
I mean, that's honestly a pretty smart tactic in order to get people to not try to steal your gold.
Yeah. How much you want to bet it's underneath the Divine Audience?
Probably.
You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow, and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat.
Understandable.
Yeah. I
I'll get
imagine.
executed.
Oh, wait, you guys can't fly here. Hold on.
Oh.
It is a quite funny thought. It's like, come work for the state. We'll kill you. Like, no.
Would you like a part-time job at
Oh.
Execution Castle?
I served at the pleasure of King Theoric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So, we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe.
Hey, Arnold!
Move it, football head. What are you doing over here?
Being old. The end.
Yes, I am old. What do you want with me?
It's not what, it's who. Wait, no, you got it right the first time.
You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet if Ala Mhigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him.
Seek the old blood. Eyes on the inside.
Seek the old blood. Okay, do it. Where is the old blood?
Bum bum bum.
Please,
bum,
I
bum.
need more blood.
Bum 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 bum.
The older, the better.
Cutscene.
Alright. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned?
Allow me to begin,
Ew.
then.
Gil.
As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for so long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. What of you, hero? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? A raid.
I met an old man in... Oh. What?
Saying it's a
I met an
dungeon.
old man in Ala Mhigo who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said not of cursed abominations.
The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds.
Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her for a yarn, do you think? Do you believe him, hero?
His fears seem genuine.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think somebody would lie about something like that.
This would be a really
I
weird
don't know,
plot
man.
cul-de-sac if he wasn't telling the truth.
Yeah.
People can be weird. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search.
Go down. Don't be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there's a matter I would clarify. Ehrenwald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on fighting this treasure?
The music stopped.
I am the Mad King.
It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Ala Mhigo mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pureblood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. It just like licks it off. It's like, mwah, mwah, mwah. This is what it looks like. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Ala Mhigo, a feral child who got to see what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. That is a huge knife. That's literally a sword in your hands, kid.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Could you imagine, like, Could you imagine sending a kid outside with like a kitchen knife? You're like, all right, get on out of there. I don't want to ever see you in my face again. You're like, what? That's it? I just got the knife? The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived. But I hated the animal I had become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions.
Here pictured, dead woman.
One I never have to voice again.
I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. The Theoric's gold. I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that.
Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear of our intentions. Well, hero, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? I share a kindred with him as a fellow person who has white paint on their face.
Oh yeah.
Because I painted eyebrows on my character. Then I should be glad to tell you of my theory of the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it.
I like the idea that he just looks at you and he's like, why did you have war paint on your face? I want to look mad.
People couldn't read my expressions. All these humans. Confused by the cat with no eyebrows.
I'm assuming slaying is the one I want.
What's funny is that, like, he does have all the same expressions as anyone else, so when you put eyebrows on his face, you really start to notice how much his face is expressing.
Yeah, don't forget, by the way, Andrew, you need fending gear specifically.
Oh, well, he just asked and you didn't answer in time.
Yeah, no, I got slaying gear instead, so a waste.
Oh.
Womp womp.
That's okay.
Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location.
In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking.
That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Seld. I have a conversation now when you could add travel time.
He's not wrong, though.
Boop. Ooh, that was several items.
Yeah.
That was a whole ass set. Was any of it good? No.
Yeah, if you're wearing level 70
well,
tombstone gear, it's
all of
probably
those
not as
were
good as what
just
you're wearing right
trash.
now, but... Can I just go through the... No, I can't. Go over.
You can do it, I believe in you. Oh, hey. More exposed part of a map. Yeah. This map is not exposed at all. Holy crap.
No. Because
I
there's
really have
tons
not
of
been to
places
this
that we
place.
normally don't need to go.
Yeah. One day I'll get flying everywhere.
Nah.
Maybe.
Just make Effie do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's exactly why I... You're one of the reasons why I rushed... Ugh. One of the reasons why I rushed through the story. Goodness.
You mostly just wanted to play
English. Yes.
it. Forgive me.
Granted, I have no
Was
idea
not-
what the story is. But...
It was not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explained things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Skalla, which rose and fell during the Fifth Astral Era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the times the water began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war. Yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Zeld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Skalla. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodric wanted to keep the ruins secure.
Wait, you're saying that they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove?
Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed.
Which would explain how a legion of imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Ala Mhigans have never found a trace of the trove.
Our shoes are all wet. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. Hero, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arnvald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace.
Bye.
Okay. I guess we'll just go underwater now, because they asked nicely. And who are we to say no thank you to such a tantalizing
When I try on those
offer to
shorts,
get
they look like
wet?
swim trunks.
I guess that's okay. I don't think that's their intended effect, but, you know. We are in the water. You could have been wearing swim trunks in here.
True.
Why are there icicles in here? Wait a second. How cold is this water?
We're not getting back out of this.
We're just freezing to death down here. You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Okay.
Here we go.
Sprint. Swim faster.
Jump on it.
Wait, can you mount down here?
You can.
Oh, should have mounted. I'm pushing this stone door.
You come to a worn stone door standing temptingly ajar. It would appear that you have found an entrance to the subterranean ruins. Beep beep. Hero, that's Alphino. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door concealed by enchantments. Have you aught to report? Sure, I'll just talk underwater. And you believe it leads into the ruins. Excellent. Then I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Let's split up, gang! Oh.
Okay.
Oh, come on, you two. We might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed.
It is a dungeon. We already have a healer, so I guess we're just go.
Yup.
Here we go.
Enter
like how we're
the
just in a
brown city
bubble.
of Skalla. However, before I do that,
None of my dances work underwater.
Okay.
Look how fast queue times are when you don't have to raid.
well, it's instant because we're a full party.
Yeah. Oh my god, that thing is having a bad time.
They're playing like a bells or whatever version of the song we normally have. Do 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 do. But like on like a tin drum. Everyone's a badass until the tin drum comes out.
Oop, I clicked on the wrong person.
Oh god, I gotta remember how to play ninja.
Isn't Ninja like one of the most complicated characters in the game?
Are they?
I sort of.
When I tried reviewing all the class options, Ninja seemed like they might have the most complicated DPS rotation or something.
Oh, they just have
like to the point of
rotation.
the point of being like obnoxious.
Oh,
Dancer is hilariously simple. Like it's amazing.
what's the trade-off? Like, what are you not getting?
Just a really simple character.
Character?
Like my primary attack combo is 2 buttons that you just alternate between. I'm serious.
Yeah, I have 4. I technically have 4 buttons for my.
I hold down
primary
right trigger and
combo.
then I hit B, Y, B, Y over and over again. And then every time I hit those, there's a 50% chance that it'll proc my other buttons, and then I just hit the glowing button that popped up.
Sorry. Oh!
Yeah, as
Sorry, hold on. I'll try to.
That's not counting the goofy things I have to do at the beginning to like, because I have 2 things that buff the party or myself in various ways, but are on a cooldown. So you just do those each time they come up.
Yeah, technical step which buffs the any party members within a certain range of you, with a buff depending on how many buttons you actually push. And of course, standard step, which specifically affects you and your dance partner.
Like it's not I wouldn't compare it to a rhythm game because a rhythm game has timing, but you know how in a rhythm game you just follow instructions, Andrew?
Yeah.
Dancers basically just follow instructions.
Yeah.
You just press 2 buttons
gotcha,
over and
okay.
over again, and then all the buttons that start glowing, you press those 2, because the 2 attacks in your main combo have a 50% chance of proccing the use
Something
of
else.
your other stronger combo, and then using those attacks also gives you a 50% chance of proccing your next like ultra attacks. But basically, it's like playing a rogue that has a coin flip chance of getting combo points in WoW.
Okay.
But even those follow-up things aren't really combos, they're just attacks you get to do sometimes when you win the coin flip.
Oh.
And it's even chill enough that like my super attacks build up a currency that I can spend whenever I want to. I don't even have to do them within 5 seconds of them proccing or anything. I can just be like, I'll just stock them up and spam them when I feel like it. There's probably like smarter ways to do it all, but it's not a deep rotation at all.
Yeah, I just remember playing a lot of time as Summoner, and I remember how annoying Summoner was at times with its rotation.
Summoner
Like
has gotten
if
a
we
lot
were
more
progression
brain dead.
rating, there'd probably be like something else to learn. There'd probably like nuance to learn.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with these beam things. Is it chasing me?
Don't let him touch you.
Oh, it's chasing me.
Oh my
what
god!
happened?
It brought us in.
That was.
You don't want to be in.
I
Yeah.
wanted to be in all my life.
Kelpies tend to be pretty rude.
Yeah, the horse what drowns you.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I can never trust a wet horse. Just doesn't.
Jeez.
Not since I watched Fellowship. I'm amazed how much that sticks with me because I have not watched Lord of the Rings movies in a long time.
I think
I grew-
that's normal, though.
I grew
if something
up
hits
watching
you hard enough,
Fellowship in
you'll remember
particular
it.
so much.
That's interesting. Why that one in particular?
It's just my favorite one. Go on an adventure.
Oh.
I was like, I do kind of like that the party's all still together and they just start adventuring instead of like having to do a war, which is the next 2 movies. Because they're split
That's
up and each
true,
and
yeah,
half of
there's
them
a
is doing
lot.
a war and the other half is doing a very slow motion Gollum story.
There's a lot of fun in the first Fellowship.
I only
I
recently
just tried to
learned-
ping that treasure coffer like it was Overwatch.
Yeah. I only recently learned that Lord of the like. I'll get this wrong probably because I'm trying to secondhand information in, but either Lord of the Rings in general or the way that it was written originally or something. From what I understand, the story of Aragorn and everybody else was one story, and the story of the hobbits and Gollum was another story, and it didn't go back and forth. It was literally like published as 2 separate books that you read concurrently or consecutively.
It's been so long since I've read the books, I can't. I honestly would not know off the top of my head.
Just like, that's wild to me. Like, you just read a whole Hobbit book and a whole Aragorn book, and there was no like back and forth of like, here's these events happening simultaneously.
Oh, sorry,
And the book
hold
just
on.
had to like
Okay.
combine them, or the movie had to combine them. It kind of contextualizes how Game of Thrones has been going. Ow.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't ready, but all right, hold on.
Because Game of Thrones also like got crumbling under the unwieldy, massive scale of its narrative. The most recent books split the characters by continent into 2 separate books, and so they had 2 books that took place basically simultaneously. Like as a format change. I felt like the pacing was rough. The result, I don't know.
Of the books or the show?
The books. The A Song of Ice and Fire. Because they split the story between 2 separate books. Like all the characters on one continent were in one, more or less in one book, and the other ones were in the other book. And that's like how he tried to deal with the next chapter of the story, was just divide them that severely.
I got hit by that? Yeah. Damn it. Oh well.
It kind of leads to a thing where like the world was like the story was bouncing between so many different storylines to suddenly like 1/3 of this book is Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, that sounds
Oh,
pretty awful,
okay.
actually. Yeah, it's just like a whole chunk of a book just becoming about one person in particular.
And her ineffective attempts to find someone that's missing.
Oh, come here, come here. Okay. Everyone
Sad the
crowd
show
around.
got so
That's all.
bad because the show had a pretty good habit of taking my least favorite parts of the books and making them my favorite parts of the show. With acting and pacing and not very long book descriptions and so on. But I also
That
feel
is
like
what you
my,
ideally look for in an adaptation.
yeah, I do feel like sometimes my read is questionable though, because I did just zoom through the entire book series in audiobook form, like back to back. I don't think I ever
We did
would've
that.
been I don't think I would have ever been able to sit down and read them from scratch and get myself to even start if I hadn't had the audiobooks available. It's so huge.
That is like a problem I do find myself having when it comes to looking at certain books I want to read, where I'm like, I don't want to read though. Like, I just don't like the. I feel like if someone else is talking, it's easier for me to imagine what's happening than it is if I'm reading it.
It'd be nice to have a narrator and whatnot. A funny detail about so all of the Lord of the Rings books are narrated by, all of the Game of Thrones books are written by a guy named Roy Dotrice. So you get really used to his particular voice and all that. And just as a detail that I thought was kind of neat is that he shows up in the show. Like as a nod to the fact that that's the person that you would have gone through some... What's happening?
So you have to drop bombs in front of these guys.
Yeah.
Cause them to explode on impact.
There it is. It felt like a neat little just nod to the fact that like how so many people experienced the story was his narration, and then they cast him as a character for like an episode or one arc of the show.
I wonder how much you got paid for that. Like, did you get paid as an actor, or just like a voice actor pay?
I mean, he was an actor. Like, it's not he was an actor in the episode.
He was an actor prior to doing the book.
I just mean that he was an actor in the episode.
Oh.
He wasn't voice acting.
I know. I just meant I wonder how that works. Like the SAG thing. Like, does it? As a voice actor, does he have to be?
It's probably a SAG credit. I assume TV counts just as much these days.
I hope so.
What is it? 3
That'd probably be a really good
jumping
jumping off point.
I'm not 1000% sure, but for people that are following this conversation, that's irrelevant to absolutely everything. But whatever.
Yeah. It is pretty relevant.
I think he was the guy who kept the dragon fire or the green fire or whatever the fuck that they had under the city in like season 2 or whatever. It was a big moment in the Blackwater. Yeah, the Battle of Blackwater. There we go. I remember some names from the years where Game of Thrones was a good show.
Damn.
Hey, that's not a take. That's not a hot take.
I'm not saying it's a hot take. I'm just saying, like, damn, just coming out here for blood already.
It is well trodden ground how bad that show got.
I used to watch this show.
And then it ended. But also it was bad.
Once it got bad, I stopped watching and started hating.
The new show got decently good by the end of the season.
Oh yeah? What the fuck is this? What are these things?
They just really wanted us to feel like we were embracing the transformation gimmick here. Zangbito.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I hope you all at home enjoyed random info dump. We're fighting homunculi, I guess.
What? Did you say by homunculi?
I said we're fighting homunculi.
Oh. I think on the road trip that we took, we finished the entire audiobook for Mindhunter, and that was pretty good.
Ah. I think I got that as a white elephant gift a few years ago for people.
It was like, I have to say, we that was the first audiobook we listened to on the trip. And then we were like, after we finished it, we were like, oh, we'll read some other ones. And that one like really ruined it for us because that one was so well narrated, so well written.
Yeah.
And then you read these other ones about like serial killers and stuff. And it's just like, it feels like an indie documentary where you're like, oh, this is all right, I guess. But
oh, yeah,
it doesn't have the same
audiobook
like
productions are all over the place.
Oh yeah. But it's just like the way the book was written was clearly by somebody who like knew how to write really well, and the narration was done by somebody who like really gave it their all on acting.
Yeah.
And it was so weird to be like, oh my god, you just go and listen to somebody talking like they're a therapist talking to you in a closed room, and you're like, this is boring, I hate this, don't talk like this. And then you go back to the other audiobook and this guy's all excited. He's like, I'm walking here, and you're like, what the hell? What is this guy doing? Like,
I always think about
this guy's great.
World War Z, where the because the book is a like a documentary style, like a series of interviews of a bunch of different people that survived the zombie apocalypse decades later. because that's what the story is. It's like an anthology. That's why the movie was so weird.
Yeah.
Because that's not what the book was. They took full advantage of that, and they actually cast a different actor for every chapter of the book.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
And one of them is Mark Hamill.
That is, yeah. Oh, that's
really
really
good attention to
good.
detail.
That's just,
I
that's
bet
just
Mark
fun
gave a great
time.
performance.
Yeah, so
I've never
different
actually heard
so
of
different actor narrates every chapter. Then, and my favorite audiobook of all time is "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream," which is written by Harlan Ellison and narrated by Harlan Ellison. He goes,
wait, what? He just narrates his own book?
Well, it's a short story, so it's only 40 minutes, but he does it himself.
Oh, okay.
And he's into it. It's really intense.
Oh, I imagine. Like the author's gonna know the emotions better than anybody else, right?
It's like it's straight up like it goes beyond what you're used to of like being the tone of audiobooks. Instead, it's just like, oh, he's acting. It's like he's like growling and yelling and like getting fully invested in all of whatever the fuck's happening, and it's a fucked up, horrible story. It's I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
I'm gonna have to give that a listen. I like the idea that the author is doing the audiobook. That just sounds like a lot of fun.
I've been thinking about it lately because I played Scorn. Oh, what is this?
Get as far away as possible.
Okay.
Does less damage. Oh yeah, you're almost done with Scorn, right? Or you are done?
Yeah, I beat it immediately. It's just airing. But there's a level of Scorn that just is.
Oh, wait.
Hello.
Oh, I did not.
There's
I'm sorry,
a
goodbye.
part of Scorn where just the entirety of it is like this creature from the I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream video game. Just extremely noticeable. I'm like, this has to be an intentional reference because this is the same creature.
I wouldn't. I feel like I wouldn't put it past them to be making that reference. Like based on the footage I've seen of Scorn, it does seem like it's not gonna shy away from its inspirations. Okay, there's a lot going on here. What the hell?
Yep. Oh, it's attached to me. Okay.
Oh god! Oh.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh no. I'm so mad, man. That Mario movie's gonna sound like shit. I know it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't get the original voice actor.
It's gonna be so bad. I'm so
like he's
like
done
every time I keep
in
thinking
extended
about it.
formats before. So like,
Honestly, I think it's just like some. It could be a nepotism culture thing or whatever the fuck, or like however casting works. But I kind of think Hollywood movies usually just hire Hollywood actors. Period.
Oh, I'm sure, but
I
it's
get
just
the feeling that like
it's-
voice actors are literally not even considered as a possibility for voice acting.
I just
I
it just
didn't know
seems
if the eye
really
thing was
like a
happening.
dumb. No worries.
Ow.
It seems like a really odd choice though, given that it's such a. I don't know. It's like imagine
it's like
if
how
you hired.
Sonic the Hedgehog, they hired some asshole instead of any of the people that voiced Sonic the Hedgehog, and so
Well,
shockingly,
yeah,
he
but
doesn't sound like Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, and I hate his voice. I hate the Sonic the movie voice actor. He's the same guy who does like some kind of character in DuckTales with the exact same voice. He doesn't change his voice at all, so it sounds like the same fucking character. It's like really obnoxious.
Yeah. Like once you get
but
past
the,
the old Urkel cartoon, Sonic has had a pretty consistent sound. Besides that,
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
It's-
like, but
I'm
what if
thinking
we
of it more
hired a
just
film actor?
But like I would
Like
get
for-
that, except for the fact that it's Mario, and Mario is like, you know, he is on, I would say, that level akin to like Mickey Mouse, and I don't think you would get like John Cena to voice Mickey Mouse in a movie. Like you would just get the Mickey, like you would get the Mickey
John
Mouse
Cena
actor.
is
Like that would
Mickey
be.
Mouse.
It would be so weird to have like a Hollywood actor do the voice of Mickey Mouse when you know for hell that Disney would never let that happen. They would not be like, yeah, let's get Will Smith to do Mickey Mouse's voice. Like that would why? Why would you do that? Like just get
Mickey
the guy
Mouse
who
is
does
such
Mickey
the
Mouse.
eternal example of a thing that I'm told is iconic, but it doesn't actually feel iconic to me because I'd never see Mickey Mouse in anything.
It's even more
Which
bizarre
is
when you consider the
fine,
fact
but-
that It would be one thing if it was a live action movie, but this is all voice acting. It doesn't make sense to not hire a voice actor for something that is all just voice acting. And
But like I said, that they
actual
just
acting.
don't.
Yeah.
Ever since
I
like
don't
Robin
think they-
Williams is the genie, they've been like stunt casting every voice acted role in everything. You think Aquafina's
is-
the best voice actor they could get for Raya the Last Dragon? No, but it's his actor and whatnot. They're not gonna hire Jennifer Hale for mainstream YouTube for mainstream theater movie. Like, it's just very obviously noticeable. You look at any voice actor's IMDb page, and their entire career is video games and TV shows.
Yeah. Which is like, and then I love just like the stark comparison of like, you can, I don't know, you look at other countries and their voice actors, and you're like, oh man, you guys don't care. That's cool. Like, they just can grab somebody if it's a local voice actor or not. They have no like weird requirements like we do.
Are you all right? Aye. Everything's still attached.
Ah, it seems both our paths led here. Very good. We spent altogether too much time fleeing fiends horrid and numerous. How fared you?
I get the feeling they did not have this guy's backstory in mind when they made him.
Nope.
Much the same then. 'Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin,
painting.
or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune.
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face.
Painting's cursed.
Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Painting's too much, man. Who did your hair? Did you go to the local salon?
This might be the most rapidly set up and then paid off dungeon in the entire story.
Right?
Like,
If only the
it's
rest of our
incredible.
problems was this quick to be done.
Like,
What?
in less than an hour, we started this entire storyline and then finished the dungeon. I'm like, well, what in the world?
Also, how do we get teleported here? Hello. Okay.
Arenvald and I forged ahead at the fastest pace we could manage, but I was not surprised to find you waiting for us. I suppose it serves us right for challenging the Warrior of Light. Next time, we should agree on some manner of handicap.
No.
Like only allowing 2 people in your party instead of 4.
We may have lost Alphanod, but think of what we found. We found. You guys
What?
fell into it.
I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches.
What? Like how you reeled to the side of that floating scepter, you mean? Or specter, you mean? You should have heard him scream, hero.
Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? I found the Mad King's trove, and that is all that matters.
No, we.
It was
Found
lost
it.
for a millennia, which is why we found it in 20 minutes.
Oh, music. I hope
Nobody else
it's
tried
the
that hard.
Slow chimes. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lice should be the first. Second, sorry.
Seconded. There is to be a meeting of representatives from all across Ala Mhigo, so she is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out?
Okay.
Gonna pay off later, or was this a cul-de-sac of story? Find out.
We'll find out.
Yes is
So-
the answer.
Yeah, I feel like they just designed that character's appearance first, then retroactively tried to give him a tragic backstory later. Not least in part because I don't think that his painted on X even goes where his scar would be, for where because he was supposed to be cutting where the Garlean's third eye
Yeah,
goes.
because it's supposed to be like in the center of the forehead.
Yeah, it's like not.
Yeah.
It's way higher than that X is.
It's
but
underneath
also
his bangs, essentially.
yeah, like also he has such long hair that the face paint would be stupid anyway.
Let's see.
But also, I'm very biased against the X paint. I just think it looks stupid on every character. Oh? You three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to?
I'm glad you asked, Lise. And I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer.
We found a mountain of gold, and these two idiots almost got themselves killed by falling down a very long hole.
We plundered an archaeological site.
This gold belongs in a museum. You're joking. The Mad King's trove? I thought it was a myth.
So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Hero and Alphinaud in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote that it go towards alleviating the suffering of Ala Mhigo's poor.
Gods, if there's as much as you say. Arnvald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I have taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well.
Okay, I want to see an itemized list at the end of the month. This is a charity, after all. Thank you. Oh, there was one thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask you consult Alphinaud. I don't have a head for details. I'm not, educated? I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do with it instead.
Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alphinaud. Of course. I shall be at your disposal.
Here's my bank account.
It's a lot of zeros.
Yep. Commander, we've got a problem.
Oh my god.
Deep breaths. Tell me what's happened.
Okay.
A mob's gathered outside the headquarters, and they've just started making demands. You'd best come and see for yourself.
Demands. In my video game?
It feels like such a comically large amount of money to just introduce over the course of 20 minutes in the story.
Right?
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fordola.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Butcher the... Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down.
Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye, and my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Ala Mhigo.
Hey, who's this?
That's the bull of Ala Mhigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance, but we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Ala Mhigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Ala Mhigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
I know you're right, I do, but I can't.
The myth invented by television and fiction where you just give a good speech and everyone just fucking immediately agrees with you. Standing ovation. You've changed not only one minds, but an entire room of people's minds. Ready?
I am ready.
My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away.
It was a difficult tide to stem. It was that same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over. All the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance.
Is that me?
Yep.
I don't remember what voice I gave this character.
Upon
It's
a
been like
time.
2 years.
I don't know what voice you gave her. Honestly, it was so long ago.
Long
ago in a distant land. Long ago in a distant land. Aye, and it's not just here. We have reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls, even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos in his offices. It was grim.
I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready.
Damn, what the fuck?
That's a very unrelated statement, Lise.
Yeah.
How will we ever be able to live side by side in peace if we can't get past being mad about the person that mass murdered everybody, like, individually, like that specific person?
Right?
But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun.
Who are these representatives exactly?
Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Ananta and the Kikirn to participate. The Kikirn!
Ala Mhigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings.
Then let's execute her and be done with it. She asked herself to be put to death.
Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated, and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodric or Xenos. Yeah, but she's a leader. We can't kill Hitler, because then we'd have to kill every German. Weird logic.
Yeah, like, are you gonna blame the entirety of the Wehrmacht for the actions of the SS? Damn.
Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, aye, unforgivable things. But in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand.
All right. Speak of the prison guard when you're ready. I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too.
I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun investigating the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does.
Okay.
That's a very fast doggy.
It's a very fast dog. See,
Got
that
the
dog looks
commander's
cute. Look how
permission
cute
to
that
enter
dog
then.
looks. Yeah.
Well, Shiba Inus are royalty.
Our royalty. Oh, yeah.
So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men! And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fordola.
I see you for what you are.
Fordola, we mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right. Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Ala Mhigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
What did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Fordola!
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something! My husband and daughter are in danger!
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of army.
We're citizens! We have rights!
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitors! Traitors!
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Fordola, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods!
What have you done to your face? Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes, wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past? And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay! You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
This is bizarre storytelling. What is happening?
I don't know. I'm at the choice.
Yeah. Let's see.
All of these are good options, and I don't know which one we should go for.
Because I choose to.
Yeah, it's probably the best one.
I don't know. None of your business. What the fuck? Get out of my face.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Damn.
Well, we got some music for that.
It feels like they're trying to set up her rehabilitation, so it's like, how do we get that to happen? Mind meld. We both share each other's memories. That's like the Dark Crystal thing. Like, we're dream fasting. I'm taking a bath. that fucking line.
So stupid.
It was so fucking funny. But like, it's just bizarre to take the mass murderer commander person and be like, let's give her a sympathetic backstory. Is this better now? It's all better now, right? But even more strangely, like, they're like, her backstory, as far as I could parse, was that Garleans beat her dad to death, and so she joined the Garlean military to show them, and tried to become the best little Garlean military slave that she possibly could be, to prove them wrong? She's like, we might even die for this, but I'm like, why? Why are you so bizarrely loyal to the people that murdered your dad and the guard that was just like, let them tire themselves out, who gives a shit? Like,
well, the Ala Mhigans were the one who killed her dad, but the Garleans stood by and let it happen. So it's a bizarre scenario where I think I don't know. It's just a bizarre scenario.
Yeah, it's because her own people were like attacking her and belittling. Well, I mean, killed her fucking dad. And so I think she joined the Garleans as more of like a, I'll show you Ala Mhigans, like, if I'm not accepted, then I'll just wipe you all out, which is a good strat. I mean, she was pretty close to achieving it, if not for us. So, like, I don't know. All things considered, her plan clearly was working well until we showed up. And so I don't know. Can't really question her methods, I guess. It worked in this universe.
I think she still harbors resentment towards the Garleans as well, and guess maybe, I don't know, it's a weird.
She was sure willing to do a lot of stuff that was like not in her interest if she cared about her own people.
Yeah. The only reason I can think of is she's trying to get to the source to somehow get retribution against them too. Like work from the inside kind of deal, you know? But that doesn't make sense either, because they followed the orders of, like, you know, killing their own team to do it. I don't know. It's kind of a mess.
It's like being the person who rose to the top of weird golf samurai, like working for him. Like, what was that accomplishing? What was the point?
Big golf samurai.
Yeah, he's the guy that
looks like he's carrying around a golf caddy.
Yeah, he just has a golf caddy of swords that would spin like a revolver. Yeah.
It's just like, what the hell are you talking? I'm thinking of some guy like Garlean just like
fucking
golf
weird
balls
villain
at you or something. Yeah, he was really dumb.
It's so fucking funny. I'm like, I can't believe we're supposed to take this guy seriously for a whole expansion. Like, it's me. This game's Sephiroth. There's always one. I mean, I'm the guy with the flowers in my hair from Final Fantasy XII 2, or I'm Seymour. Let's keep remaking the guy that looks and talks like this.
He's got really short blades to deal with, like, I don't know, Lalafell, I guess, because, you know, they can't wield very long weapons, and really long weapons to deal with things like Rokudan, I guess? I don't know. It's weird.
I imagine more that they had different materia in them or some other, like... It's like how people carry different weapons with different elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like how The Witcher has a sword for men and a sword for monsters, but they're not like different sizes. It's just one's made of steel and one's made of silver.
Yeah, most like... well, it would also make sense if they're trophies as well. Why they're just randomly being picked using a roulette.
Like it's General Grievous's lightsaber belt.
Basically.
Alright.
It's like, I'm going to use this one today.
Let's move on with the story. It's the least we can do.
Ugh.